Tuesday, filmmaker and UFO enthusiast Jeremy Corbell published an image of a metallic orb claimed to be taken from an American MC-12W ISR aircraft, a drone, a spy plane, over the city of Mosul, April 2016. Now, Corbell added that the orb has been designated as an unidentified anomalous phenomenon, UAP, and is under investigation by the DoD. Okay, London. The U.S. military is investigating an unidentified flying orb after a large round object was spotted by a spy plane over an active conflict zone. It was reported on Tuesday. Now, keep in mind, this was back in 2016, Mosul, Iraq. It was just a war-torn part of the world. Total devastation. Okay, let's continue. The image, originally taken April 2016 over the city of Mosul, was part of a classified briefing for U.S. officials and was shared by Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp on their podcast, Weaponized. So keep in mind, again, this happened in 2016. Now, I don't know if Corbell sat on this, but I know that these agencies out there like the DoD, the Department of Defense, the Pentagon, these different task force, these UAP task force, they have been investigating this and again recently released to the public. Okay, let's continue. Produced from a video by the Pentagon's Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force, the image of the orb is the first to be publicly revealed. So keep in mind, this is the first image, okay, taken from a 4-second video to be revealed from the U.S. government's ongoing unidentified flying objects investigation showing an unidentified craft over a conflict zone. Okay, I mean, this is just crazy, guys. The article goes on to say, and by the way, again, this is ARAB News. Here's the very basics. It's called the Mosul Orb. It's an image taken in northern Iraq, Corbell said on his podcast. Again, Weaponized. Check it out. I think episode 2 coming out tonight. This is the UFO category within the Intelligence Committee. This is an example of one of the UFOs that our military and intelligence committee are looking at. Now, we're going to get into that too. This UFO report, it was a joke, but released back in 2021, and we're still waiting on this new report to come out. So let's continue. It's one of many images. Now, keep that in mind. That's a key word, guys. Many images. This one is a still, again, a screenshot from a video. It's a brief video, maybe 4 seconds, where the orb or metallic ball runs alongside a spy plane, and it's shown moving beside the plane without dropping altitude at all. Now, it reminds me of the USS Nimitz off the coast of California. Let's continue. This is within part of the conversation of our intelligence committee. This is what they're looking at, he added, he being Corbell. One intelligence source speaking to the Mail said the video was analyzed by experts for more than 6 years at the Joint Base Langley, Virginia for the U.S. Central Command, but remains unexplained. Again, I want to get to this report of how many cases still remain unexplained. Following approval by the U.S. President Joe Biden for the fiscal year 2023 National Defense Authorization Act, which contains provisions related to UFOs, this case was made public. So, wow, this is a bombshell, guys. This is amazing. And again, at the end of the video, I'm going to give you my take on exactly, what we're looking at, or at least my opinion on what we're looking at here. A lot of people are throwing different theories around out there. Some people say it's a puddle of water. Some people say it's a car. I mean, I've heard all these crazy theories, but I'll give you my opinion coming up later on in the video. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, you guys remember the UAP report that was released to the public back in 2021. But first, on January 12th, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence released the 2022 Annual Report on Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon, or UAPs. The term UAP, which is largely synonymous with the original usage of the unidentified flying object, or UFO, is designated to be a broad category for reporting observed but unexplained sights in the sky. Okay, it's funny how they want to debate and argue over the term. Is it a UFO, a UAP? Now remember, this is the second report. Okay, I'm reading this article. This is the second report on UAP since the creation of the task force following the preliminary report released in 2021. Again, a complete joke. In the preliminary report from 2 years ago, the task force identified 144 sightings over the previous 17 years. Okay, let me repeat that. The task force identified 144 sightings over the past 17 years, and we know there's a lot more. Okay, in the new report, there are a total of 510 sightings, including those 144 already documented, 247 new ones made since the first report, and 119 reports of events prior to 2021, but that were not included in the initial assessment, for a total of 366 newly identified reports. I mean, this is crazy. So what we're seeing here, you have all these reports. Okay, 510 sightings, 144 already documented, 247 new ones, for a total of 366 newly identified reports, and we're getting this little picture here from a 4-second video. Again, kind of like the USS Nimitz, that little smidgen we got of a video. They're doing it to us again. It's drip feeding disclosure. Follow the breadcrumb trails. Okay, and I don't want to get off subject, but Jeremy Corbell, I believe that's what he's doing. A lot of people are hating on him right now, but look, I think he's doing the best he can with the information given to him. People are claiming that he's using this Iraq orb, okay, from 2016 as nothing more than a springboard, okay, to launch his podcast, Weaponized. That's the criticism. But, I don't know. I don't know if he sat on this since 2016, or maybe it was recently given to Corbell. I don't know. I guess I'd have to listen to the podcast to figure that out. So, but this information is very important, guys. Again, this is one little picture, one screenshot from a 4-second video. Where's the video? Why don't they release the full 4-second video? I mean, it's just crazy to me that we have to fight so hard with FOIA and Congress and different agencies to get the truth out there to the public. Okay, so as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I told you I'd give you my opinion as to what we're looking at. Now, I think this is a black budget project. Okay, again, these are well-documented projects going back to Roswell, the late 40s. A black budget covert appropriation is a government budget that is allocated for classified or other secret operations of a nation. Now, what is the budget? I don't know. It's pretty secret. It's a black budget. But based on my research, okay, around $36 billion with a B, billion dollars, used by the Pentagon to fund its own agenda of top secret weapons of war. Now, remember, this part of Iraq in 2016 was a war-ridden part of Iraq. It was just total devastation. I mean, I've looked at the Google satellite photos, and it's terrible what happened there. I believe that that's what we're looking at, some type of black budget military project. Now, I don't think this is aliens. I don't think this is an orb from outer space or nothing like that. I think that this object, this craft, was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and our drone, our military spy plane, got a photo of it. That's exactly what I think, and that's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's aliens. And I think far too often, we try to say everything is UFOs, everything is aliens, everything is ET. But I think a lot of what we see in our skies is from these black budget military projects. And that's just my personal opinion, as to what we're looking at. Okay, so in closing, first of all, thank you for joining us tonight. Follow us on Twitter, We're on Rumble. We are on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We have a group there, also a private chat if you guys join the group, and you can, talk to me directly if you'd like. So, please join us there. But in closing, so again, I think this is some type of black budget military project. So you have to keep in mind this budget, 30, 40, 50 billion, probably quadruple that. A lot of that money is allocated towards these third-party companies like the Bigelow Corporation, Robert Bigelow, okay, because they are protected from FOIA, the Freedom of Information Act, and basically any public scrutiny, and I think that's where a large part of that money goes, of that budget. It goes to these third-party companies, and they're developing, this tech that is just decades ahead of our time. I mean, kind of like they did with the stealth technology and, going all the way back to the 40s in Roswell. So that's what I think we're seeing. And again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I think far too often people try to say every little thing in the sky is a UFO UAP, and I think a lot of it is man-made. Now, we'll probably never know the truth about the Iraq Orb, again, back in 2016, because that's just our government. I mean, that's just the powers that be. That's how they are. So I just don't think we'll ever know the truth. But in my humble opinion, okay, I think it is a black budget project. I don't think it's a camera anomaly. I don't think it's UFOs. I don't think it's ET or anything like that. I think a spy plane basically captured another plane, possibly, or drone or balloon that was spying over this active conflict zone, this war zone in Iraq. So that's my honest opinion. So thank you guys for tuning in. Leave a comment below, and we'll see you on the next one.